Purley.
When I inquired and I saw the site plan, it was 7,500 square foot. I was like, geez, that's like 3 times as big as what we currently have in Coulsdon. Said it would have been the easy thing to do to just continue in one place, but we want to continue acting out our mission, serving more people. And when I really think about the vision, I think such an incredible team, it'd be a shame not to progress this even further.
To see the community expand, see the team expand. The T2FIT Purley is for someone who wants more than your average gym experience. Because we are so passionate about the people that we work with. We want the best results for them. We want better results for them than they want for themselves.
How will having 2 sites kind of affect that community feel?
Like what we've done in Coulsdon isn't just a space where you go and train. It's about seeing familiar faces, people who are very like-minded, and people who are there to lift your standards up.
When are the doors opening?
We're planning on opening.
Hello and welcome to the T2FIT Talks podcast, where we aim to educate and inspire individuals to achieve their full potential. I am your host, JT, and today I am joined by the owner and founder of T2FIT, Mr. Luke Turner, and the head of coaching and programming here at T2FIT, Mr. Kasim Essene. And we are going to be talking about all things T2FIT Purley. That's a nice little ring to it, right? Fellas, how are we?
Indeed. Very well. How are you?
I'm very good. Now, as I'm sure if people are watching this, they can see or potentially hear, we're in a slightly different location. Luke, where are we?
We are in the Royal Oak Centre, Purley, a location that has been on the radar for quite a few years, but I'm sure we're going to get to that in a bit. Very, very excited.
So the aim of today in this episode is we wanted to, I guess, give a little bit of an insight and a backstory as to why a second site, the hows, the whens, but also to answer some questions that people may have around the second site, right?
Yeah.
And as you mentioned just there, that actually this has been on the cards for a while, but why a second site?
Yeah, it's a good question. And, you know, I was speaking to Cass about this earlier on. Staying in one place would have been the comfortable thing to do. And, you know, we've done an incredible job since we started back in 2021, coming out the back of COVID. And, you know, the amount of people who told me not to do this because it was too big, not Purley, this was Coulsdon. And then just seeing what it developed into and how many lives we're able to transform. But it's got to a stage where we're kind of at the breaking point of how many more people we can possibly bring on in Coulsdon. And, you know, we've got a team that are, you know, in an exceptional position, carrying out our mission, and it just seemed like the right time to expand. So, like I said, it would have been the easy thing to do to just continue in one place, but we want to continue acting out our mission, serving more people. And when I really think about the vision, I think with such an incredible team, it'd be a shame not to progress this even further, and then in turn be able to develop more incredible human beings who are coming into our gyms and being able to smash it. But also the proximity of where Purley is to Coulsdon, that was really important for me, because what I didn't want to do is create something that disconnected the community. We wanted to make sure that we had somewhere that was still close, where the team was still involved, as well as the two communities could come together. And you know, I'm excited to share more about what that will look like over, I'm sure, a couple of questions.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Now, Cass, obviously you've been with Luke since the doors opened at Old Coulsdon, and you've seen, you know, T2FIT in Old Coulsdon grow. You've seen the growth and the kind of progression of the members and even staff that work there.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be kind of not leaving Coulsdon, but coming down to Purley and kind of starting that journey again?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was mixed emotions, because obviously Coulsdon was the baby in terms of this image of what we had of bringing small group personal training and something new and fresh to the fitness industry, something that didn't exist, to help, you know, like I said, people achieve their full potential. But yeah, even more because as I'm with you, like I used to live in Purley. Like literally my house is like 10 minutes, 5 minutes by car down the road. So I lived there for almost 10 years. So being able to come back to this, like I used to train there when it was LA Fitness. So just being back in this whole vicinity, like it's really, it's just, yeah, it's incredible. Just like I said, to see the community expand, see the team expand, and to be in this position, it's just, you know, blessed, really. That's the best way I can put it, just blessed to be in this position. Yeah.
And then Luke, you mentioned that, you know, having second site somewhere quite close to Coulsdon obviously allows you to have that tighter community feel without going too far afield. But what specifically was it about this place? Because I actually remember seeing you, because obviously I used to work in this building, so I remember actually hoovering one day and watching you walk past the window. I kind of knew who you were a little bit from social media, but I watched you walk past the window, and you were scouting it out about then. What exactly was it, other than just a little bit of location in there?
I don't know what it is, but even before Coulsdon, this was very much so on my radar. That's probably when, I don't know, maybe we just opened Coulsdon at that point. But if you go back to previous podcasts and you listen to what I said about the marathons, doing that when I did the very first one, that was about the time that I used to actually go and scout out gyms when I used to run a lot. So I'd actually make it my mission to go through certain areas to just suss it out, because I wouldn't be able to fully look into a gym unless I was running or walking past. So just from the location of it, like how many eyeballs it gets as you come past, but also I just think about what we've been able to achieve in a small town in Coulsdon to what we're going to be able to achieve here in Purley. People who come to Coulsdon, they either walk or they drive no longer than 5 minutes. And the fact that we've been able to get that to a point of where we're able to serve over 200 people every single week. So now when I think of this location, and I'm like, how many more people in different locations are we going to be able to help and get them to achieve their full potential? Because we've got excellent parking, that's always a big one for me. It's also got capacity to just build a bit more than just one space. So when you come into Coulsdon, I love the fact it's very just symmetrical, it's a square. But what this allows us to do is actually divide parts of the gym. So there's going to be a small group area, a large group area, which I actually, when I walked past, never knew that existed until I walked in here 6 or so months ago and actually checked it out for the very first time. So I actually never knew what it looked like apart from the front. Never knew where we're sitting right now was part of the gym. So I never knew how big it was. But when I inquired and I saw the site plan, it was 7,500 square foot. I was like, geez, that's like 3 times as big as what we currently have in Coulsdon. So yeah, to kind of answer your question, the location, really, really important. And I've actually created videos in the past about how important it is to get the right location, because there's no point having an amazing gym, amazing team, if you don't have enough eyeballs looking at it and people wanting to take action to come in and want to train. And I always say it to the team when we're onboarding new clients, the biggest disservice we can do to people who are inquiring with us is not getting them to see the value in what we do. Because if they don't, their health is only going to deteriorate anymore. So if they can't make it work with us, they're never going to be able to make it work in a commercial gym. And there's 5 core things that we really look to provide that I don't see any other gym providing, which we'll talk about.
Beautiful. And then, Cass, when we think about, as Luke said there, the amount of people that we've been able to kind of help along their journey at Old Coulsdon, and it's very much trying to replicate that down here, which we definitely will do, and potentially to even a larger audience. Who is that audience? Who is T2FIT Purley actually for?
Yeah, that's a great question. We were talking about this earlier. I think ultimately T2FIT Purley is for someone who wants more than your average gym experience. So you think of what is your average gym experience? Is coming into the gym, sitting on the adductor machine for 5 minutes, going on a cross trainer, looking at the weights, thinking, or maybe doing a couple, not really having a track of that, and then leaving the gym and doing the same thing year round with no results. And that's ultimately, that's what a lot of people experience. We've had members who have come to us and said, I thought I used to train till I came to you guys. So it's someone who wants more than that average gym experience. And I'm not even talking about the events that we do, which we'll talk about later, but, the summit, the hikes, the 3 peaks, and that just gives people more out of their gym membership than just going and sitting on a cross trainer. So, like Luke mentioned, the 5 things. Provide accountability. Our coaches, are going to be able to get more out of you than you can get from yourself. Training, you can come train in our state-of-the-art facility. Support, if you don't get support from the coaches, you're definitely going to get it from the people around you. Community, as you mentioned, we're looking to expand that community. So we have our great members in Coulsdon. We'll also look to build a great, community here with all the surrounding areas around us. You understand? Most importantly is having a plan, and that's the T2FIT method is based on that. It's having that periodized training plan where you don't have to think, what am I going to do for 8 weeks? What am I going to do for a year? We've got that planned out for you. We were talking about this. We've planned out the whole year already in terms of training. So it's just about, having all those pieces that we're bringing together and allow people who are, like I said, unmotivated in their training environment, want more from a gym experience, want to get great results, want to, achieve their full potential physically. That's who we want to work with. And people so that's who it's for. It's really for those people, like I said, to come here and see that, okay, what we do, it works, and just stop spinning the wheels, come and see what we have to offer.
Love that. Now, alongside obviously, meticulous planning, attention to detail, and a number of things that T2FIT offers, a large part of that is very much around community. How will having 2 sites kind of affect that community feel, or potentially even kind of boost it a little bit? Yeah, for you, yeah.
So how will this site boost that? Well, I mean, having more individuals in the community only makes it stronger, but also something we really want to be conscious of is nurturing that community even more. So, we're well known for the incredible events like JT, you last year doing 3 peaks. That's going to be coming into play this year, and we want to contribute to that. So we've got more individuals who are connecting, because this like what we've done in Coulsdon isn't just a space where you go and train. It's about seeing familiar faces, people who are very like-minded, and people who are there to lift your standards up, and for you to see yourself in them as they've been there maybe a little bit longer than you. Maybe you're just getting started with your journey, and you look and go, wow, this person was just like me a year ago, and now they're doing a High Rocks or 3 peaks. So it's really figuring out, and this is why Coulsdon is going to play such a massive role in that, because we've already got a proven concept of how we're able to create incredible individuals, people who go against what they've been told. You're too old to train, or you've got too many injuries to go and lift weights. And we're able to actually reverse that and add decades onto people's lives, which is magical. So what we're going to be able to do here with the community side of things is bring the events together, from the games to the High Rockses to the summits. We're able to really kind of nurture that and make sure that there's more people in a room, which only makes it better, only creates more value. And also, of course, when we do open our doors, we want Coulsdon to be a massive part of that, because without them, we would never be in a position where we could expand and actually know that this is something that we can take further than just one location.
Love that. And Cass, something I guess will be on everyone's minds and everyone's lips a little bit will be, we now have a second site.
Yeah.
How will that differ? How will it vary, or will it vary? And how are things going to run from a coaching, a delivery, a programming, kind of a session delivery standpoint? Will it look very much the same, or will it be different across both sites?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things obviously you alluded to is, me like leaving Coulsdon ultimately and coming over here. And, even though that's quite an emotional part, it's also fulfilling to, like I said, seeing how Coulsdon has grown and being able to take that step away without the quality suffering. So, having someone like yourself step into that head coaching role means that the standards will be driven and the standards will be the same, whilst being able to come here and replicate that same coaching standard, that same T2FIT standard that we have. And obviously the community at Coulsdon have been great in terms of helping us. The T2FIT method, what we had started as this, but through the community, it's developed to something so much more efficient, something so much more optimal, and so much more practical, and really effective in terms of getting results. So where we've got that model now, we're able to start to apply it over here and run it concurrently, and then over time, as the membership base develops here, we'll start to tailor it and personalize. But ultimately, the great thing, and like Lou mentioned this, is having that T2FIT community of over 400 people, etc., running the same training program. So that literally we have 400 people like doing a trap bar deadlift, doing our intensification accumulation phases, and getting fitter, healthier, stronger. Like it's really quite powerful. And like I said, I'm excited to see how it develops in terms of communication, like at the games and stuff like that. Seeing people in the same program really developing alongside each other. So it's going to be, like I said, it's like anything. It's a new step. But I was telling you, one thing people get from this is not being afraid to make that change, make that jump. We're all products of one time in our life deciding to make a jump where we might not have been sure. We don't sure what it looked like on the other side, but being able to take that step has led to this and impacting so many lives. So if we hadn't have made that step, there's so many people that would not have received the benefit of the T2FIT method. So it's just, so ultimately it's going to still run the same, because again, we've refined it, and we know it works, and we know it gives great results. So I'm excited to see it run concurrently across 2 sites.
I feel like, especially being at a point where I know that method a bit more now as well, and just being more involved, I feel like now is that perfect time for us to have that jump as well, and make that jump. Because I feel like that programming is in a really strong place. Like you say, having 12 months mapped out ahead, and even with the team and stuff that we have, I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to kind of spread the wings a little bit and see how that goes over two sides. Would you agree on that?
100%. And I think the main thing looking at is because we are so passionate about the people that we work with, is we want the best results for them. We want better results for them than they want for themselves. So we'll do anything to do that. So there's things that we're putting in place to ensure that, you know, the reviewing system of the program is tight. So we're constantly updating each other in terms of, okay, this isn't working, let's do this. And obviously you're going to play a big role in that, and our communication will play a big role in that, and the team will play a massive role in that. But yeah, we're just like super excited to just continue. And this new year will be exciting, because obviously when we start, you know, in this new year, we'll be excited to kind of see how we can just push and like I said, push everyone, transforming more lives in 2024.
Love that. Now, Luke, Cash has mentioned there about obviously the T2FIT team. We have a real solid team, obviously at Coulsdon, something that's kind of been cultivated over a number of, I guess over a little bit of time now, over a couple of years. Do we know who the T2FIT Purley team is going to be yet? Like, how are things going with that?
Yeah, we're pretty much there, to be honest with you. Some people might be like, blimey, you don't waste any time. But you know, one thing that we've always been really good at is just seeing vision in people. And I think because we're very clear on who we want, what we want, and obviously with members, they tell you what they want. So it's very important that we listen, but we also see what we're listening to in other people. And that's why, one, we've got such an incredible team, but we're also able to see what's possible for a person. And oftentimes, you know, when I even think back to when I met you, just by how you communicate and how you act, I can see what's possible for you. And I think we've always just been really good at seeing, okay, this is where we're going, and this is where I can see you fitting into that. So, you know, I'd say it's quite a big skill being able to see that in people, rather than just going, yeah, they will do. You know, they're great. They fall on the doorstep at the right time. It's about finding the right people who match the values of T2FIT, which is incredibly important, because the coaches, most importantly, the ones on the front line, they're the ones interacting with members. And it's important that you can have a great program, you can have an amazing site, you can have great equipment, you can have the best members, but if you don't have a team to carry out that vision and to be able to be consistent with the coaching, it breaks down in an instant. And our culture this is with the team at Coulsdon, is so on point. It's very hard for anyone to come into that and not be told, like, that's not how we act, that's not what we do. So it's been really easy, actually. The people who we've met, this gym has been in the process for over 6 months. So it's taken a long time, double the time I thought it was going to take. That's a lesson learned. But there have been individuals who have just come across who are just, you know, some have worked in the best personal training gyms in the UK. So we're incredibly excited to announce more of the team that's going to look and what it's going to look like here, from a coaching standpoint, but even from the front of house and other things that we're going to be putting in place here. A cafe similar to the fuel bar, but obviously with more space allows us to kind of break the gym up slightly. So yeah, team is pretty much ready to go. We are going to be looking at hiring more as time goes on, and as we start to grow and as we build our membership base and work with more people. But a lot of the time it's about, you know, getting started and then figuring out what you might need more of. So whether it's more coaches, whether it's more front of house team, whether it's around, you know, Hannah, for example, in the marketing side of things, is there too much on her plate? Do we need to look at bringing someone else on board? This is all unknown because we've never done this before, which is the exciting part. It's all kind of like, what is it going to look like? So we can only anticipate, but I am really happy with the individuals that we've got coming over here, and I'm excited to share more very, very soon.
Love that. And then Cash, you've mentioned a couple of bits on it already, but you mentioned that we have essentially 2024 from a programming and event standpoint already mapped out, good to go.
Yeah.
What can people expect walking through the doors of a T2FIT, whether it be Old Coulsdon, whether it be here at Purley?
Yeah.
What can they expect from 2024 when it comes to programming and I guess at the event side as well?
Yeah. I think with the events, a huge aspect of, like I said, coming over to Purley and having courses at the same time is bigger events, and, you know, more like-minded individuals coming together for those events. Like I said, you know, we've got golf days, we've got hikes, you know, like I said, we've got the summit, which is going to be amazing to see, you know, many people coming together for that, and the games, which is obviously we've almost been limited by the amount of people we could have in one building, whereas now that is just expanded. So just to kind of see that expand and grow, it's going to be incredible. And from a program perspective, you know, which is key that we talk about the program, because like we mentioned, one of the things that this gym is for is for people who want a plan, who've never had structure with their training. So we prioritize and we pride ourselves on having a plan and structure for the whole year. So we can look at that and go, okay, this is where someone will start. This is where we want to take them through and be by the end of the year. So, I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff, a lot of exciting stuff. And like I said, the team are very passionate about delivering great quality coaching. And that's something, you've mentioned recently, is that we want our coaches to fall in love with coaching again. I think that's very poignant because we value the art of coaching and being able to work with different individuals and bring the best out of them. So we're really excited to be able to bring that, like I said, not only to Tahir, but to Causden, because we're growing, not just, like Purley, as a business and as a brand, we're growing and we'll only get better. Like Luke mentioned, we're able to get, the best coaches, we're able to do training for ourselves so that we're continually leveling up. And we're not happy with staying where we are. We're constantly trying to get better, which is really exciting. So yeah, looking forward to an exciting year of, like I said, new sessions, new exercises, new formats, everything.
Love that. Now, Luke, you mentioned earlier that when you stepped into the building, you actually weren't quite sure about what was on offer here at Purley, like the different rooms and the kind of the TARDIS that it is. Did it get the kind of creative juices flowing a little bit from a standpoint of like, we could do this here and we could do that there? Like, is there anything kit-wise is going to look the same or look a little bit different? Like, how's that planning and prep going?
Yeah, do you know what? It's been actually quite easy. I must admit, I don't know why, but I think maybe because I've been looking at this place for such a long time, mentally I've been building a picture as to what it would look like, especially from the front. But I think the refurb that we did in Causden in February definitely gave me more of like this is what we want future gyms to look like. So we didn't want to half-ass it and go, let's just put in, a budget kind of upgrade. Let's really go for it, because this is the sort of thing that is only going to expand our members' ability. It's only going to expand our coaching team and allow us to diversify our programming. So essentially what we've done is, like Cass alluded to earlier, we want the programming to be pretty much the same across both gyms. So the setup needs to be just as good here as it is in Causden. So we've had to lay the gym out slightly differently, just because the gym in Causden is like a square, whereas this is a little bit, not as wide. So it's going to bring a different dimension, but it's actually going to be really nice and refreshing to have something different. So some of the racks are going to be working back to back. That's going to sound like hard to explain, but essentially, instead of having a wall behind the rack, you're going to have another rack which is facing the opposite side. So you can have 6 small groups on one side, 6 small groups on another. The best way I could probably get you to imagine it is imagine a square room and you have the racks down the middle, and you have 6 people on one side of the room, 6 people on the other side. We're going to have that because we wouldn't otherwise be able to fit in 3 pods, is kind of the goal for us. And then we've got down the other side of the room another 3 racks, which is essentially going to allow us to have our 18 people in a small group, 6 in 3 different groups. So hopefully I haven't rambled on too much there. But we've also, we've also got a different room for large groups, and that's just purely because the building's divided slightly differently. But that also does help us out because, with what we've had in Causden, sometimes it's hard to add additional sessions or to have things running on at the same time. So this is going to allow us to give us a bit more scope to just have one zone for conditioning, one zone for strength. But also what we want to do, and this is where Causden's going to be able to play a huge part too, is we want to create a cafe area where it nurtures a bit more of that community, because we've been able to do it in a gym where you step in the door and you're on the gym floor. So having the fuel bar, having seating area, having a space for people to hang around afterwards and work is going to be really, really nice. And just having a space that when we do events, you can have a few drinks after a Friday night, and we can have a bit of a good time and hang about and chat, instead of it being there's a session going on, I better sneak out. It's going to really nurture that even more. So there's 3 key areas. There's one more that we're yet to confirm, which we're not sure exactly what we're going to do with, one of the rooms, which is a really good size, either a recovery room. There's a few other bits that we're looking at with it, but we first just want to get kind of the ball rolling from the building standpoint and then look at what we need. And that's essentially the hardest thing with big space is actually knowing how to divide it. Luckily, everything's kind of already divided. There are going to be some changes that we're going to make, but pretty much the layout is there. And the previous person who was in here, it's pretty much like set up for what we need. We just now need to freshen it up put some additional things in, bring our equipment and our stamp on it as a brand, and it's going to look amazing. And obviously you have the frontage, which looks awesome. So when you drive past, it's going to be in everyone's face. We're going to make sure of that.
So the frontage is there, the floor plan's there, a little spruce up. This has been on the cards for 6 months. I will say it feels like longer, but 6 months.
It might have been longer, to be fair.
When are the doors opening?
We're planning on opening middle of February. So we're gonna we've got our own Instagram page out now, so you can go and check that out. And we're going to be constantly providing updates through emails, through socials, updating people on when they can get in and actually take a look at it. But we're also going to be doing an open day where we might have a special guest. We have a good time just celebrating the launch of it, and anybody who comes down is actually going to will be one of the first people to actually step through the doors and check out what the gym's all about, meet the team, both in Coulsdon and in Purley. So that's really, really exciting. Middle of Feb is the date. I'm going to say the 11th.
It's out there now, the 11th.
Yeah, it's out there.
11th of Feb. Love
Which
that.
I think's a Saturday. Okay. That's the open day.
I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trust you on that.
Yeah, we're going with that.
11th of Feb. Okay, cool.
11th of Feb.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And anyone listening to this or watching this, and they want a little bit of T2FIT Purley for 2024, how do they get involved? What do they need to do?
Yeah. So obviously we've launched our early bird ticket where you can essentially join our VIP pricing, which basically saves you a ton of money. It gets you committed with your goals in the new year. And now we're moving into the first part of January. For a lot of people, they're probably looking for gyms. They're looking for maybe a personal trainer, looking to get their teeth stuck into something. So when I say the 11th of February, I always think back to the mindset that a few people will have, which is I'll get started when it opens. But we've already had such an amazing uptake on people actually getting stuck into this already, and they're already sat with a plan. They know exactly what to focus on. They're already making headway with their goals before we've even actually hit open day. So what that means is that if someone said to us, here's 50 clients, we're going to start tomorrow, it would be virtually impossible for us to onboard that amount of people with the quality that we really look to provide when someone joins us. It's very scary. When someone kickstarts their journey, we want to make sure they've got everything they need to have a successful start to their journey. So we never want to be in a position where we rush people to get started. So over the past week, I've been constantly communicating the fact that if you're looking to get started, start now, get started, because it will come to a point of where people want to get going and we can only take on a limited amount of people. So this isn't like a scarcity thing or spaces are running out, act fast, but it kind of is. Yeah. Because we want to make sure that when we do open, we're delivering the same standards that we are in Coulsdon. So to do that, we can't have 100 people get started with us. And we're already getting to the stage of where I'm looking at thinking, are we going to even get to the end of the end of January, being able to bring anyone else on to get started in February? And I know there's already going to be disappointed people when they look to get started in February. We can't physically bring on that amount of people. We're never going to be a gym who just brings on more people. We're always going to be a gym that makes sure that we're the right fit for them, they're the right fit for us, and that we can actually help them succeed with what they're looking to achieve. So yeah, head over to our Instagram. We're actually doing onboarding sessions at the moment. So we'll put a plan together over the next 90 days, see what's possible and beyond. And if you see the value in what we provide and what we're going to be doing here at Purley, you can, sign up. We'd love to have you on board. Or if you don't think it's the right time for you, absolutely no problem. You'll walk away with a plan knowing what to focus on in the meantime. And then when the time's right later on in the year, then we'd love to have you on board.
Love that. Super excited.
Yeah.
I'm going to this is nothing to do with Purley, by the way, but I'm just going to get this in here. If you can just scoot the microphone back round to Kassim. Just out of interest, what training goal have you got coming up in 2024?
Oh yeah, so
I just want it. I want it.
Yeah, out there. No, it's good.
So that it happens. That's
good.
all.
Before I mention that training goal, no. I'm going to mention it, but I'm happy you said that. So one thing, obviously, I'm going to give everyone their flowers here. So being around the T2FIT, so being around yourself, being around Luke, and the team, Amy, Ben, etc. Is Jem, Mel, Frankie, Rosie, all of them, is we've all been able to uplift each other, and I think we're such a good team and the community is that we've propelled each other to levels that we never thought we'd achieve. Is that correct? Am I fine saying that? Cool. I preface that by saying I'm going to do a triathlon in September. I would never, if you told me I would have done a triathlon 5 years ago, I'd say you're mad. But just being around, the team who strives to do better, Hannah as well, who strives to do better, who just want to constantly develop themselves and are constantly lifting each other up, you can't help but level up. And this is, like I said, sitting here with you guys is a product of an attestament to that. So, yeah, triathlon, we're going to make it happen. Like, the thought of swimming in the lake is... I'm not even scared about that, funny enough. Is that weird that I'm not scared about swimming in the lake when I can't even swim one lap without stopping?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I was petrified.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. Yeah, so September the 22nd is the date. So if you see me, it's out there. I have to do it now, no backing out. So yeah.
I'm going to say as well that I'm going to come down to the lake with you.
I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
I'm coming down to the lake.
You're going to swim on your back.
I'll drag you on a little inflatable kayak behind me. It's been a while since I've been in the lake in fairness, so it's going to be a little bit of a daunting one for me as well, but I'll be there. No, you know what? I'm glad you said that.
Oh, no, wait, but hold on, Jay-Z. Speaking of coach's initiation, he's coming back to the gym floor, so should he actually...
Hey, look, okay, so for people that aren't quite aware of what happens, when you become a coach at T2FIT, we have a coach's initiation, which is not like a rugby initiation or anything like that, thankfully. It is just a workout that every coach almost goes through. And it just so happens that Kasim and Luke have not yet taken up on that challenge.
Set it up.
We did it, there was just no one there to see it.
If it's not on the gram, it didn't happen. So I feel like that might have to be a thing. I mean...
We can make that happen.
We might have to make that happen. Yeah. We'll figure that out, and we'll make sure that it's documented.
We'll make sure it's the first workout here. How about we do that?
Okay.
We'll do that. We'll put a day on it. 13th of Feb.
I heard
Sunday the 12th of Feb.
I tell you what we could do is we could do it on the 11th, and then people can come down and watch.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
There we go.
I like the sound of that.
It's on camera, ladies and gents. You heard it here first. There it is, the 13th.
Yeah.
Love that commitment. Fellas, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank
you.
You.
Excited?
Yeah, can't wait.
Love that.
Can't wait, excited. So, yeah, this is going to look... I'm actually excited, and it sounds weird, but to look back at videos and pictures.
Yeah.
I had quite a few from Coulsdon, but that feels like 10 years ago. So looking at this, where we're at right now and how much our marketing has evolved, like even watching this podcast back, looking at things we're talking about in 3 or 4 months' time and going, oh, that was like, I can't believe that's what we were talking about. It's actually here now. So yeah, it's quite surreal. It's gonna be very surreal. Yeah, but it's still surreal being in this building right now and being where we are today. You being here interviewing us, and
it's crazy.
You should have seen us about 2 hours ago shipping this into the car, all this kit, and it's raining.
Yeah, true. Big things coming.
Big things. Really excited. Thank you, JT. Appreciate you, man.
Pleasure. Now we have 3 little action points for you if you're watching and listening. The first is you're going to go and follow T2FIT Purley on their brand new Instagram page. That is number 1. That link is going to be around here somewhere. The second is you're going to subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure you're following this journey and seeing T2FIT Purley take shape. And then the last thing is contact us. Again, there's going to be a link around here somewhere. If you are looking to get involved and kickstart your journey in the best possible way, in the best possible place in 2024, then get in touch and be one of those first people through the doors, and you will not regret it, I promise you. And we're going to be back with T2FIT Talks very, very soon.